Hey guys, how's it going out there in YouTube land? This is Roy from Horizon Picks, my eBay store. I am a full-time eBay reseller, specializing in all kinds of stuff. This is a sales update video for about the last 2 weeks, from July 23rd to the end of the month. July has been my best month so far for 2016, which is encouraging considering everyone I've seen online has said how slow it is during the summer, etc., etc. But it's been good for me, so can't complain. All these items you're about to see, actually the majority are 30-day fixed price with make offer. I did run a few blowout, low-priced auctions for the month to try to clear out some inventory. There was a vacation as well earlier in the month, so I was trying to make up for that. If you have any questions about anything that I've listed, if you have any questions about a specific item, please comment below. Let me know what you think of the videos. I'd like to continue doing this, and I appreciate the support. So let's get into these. First up are these Mongoose bike helmets. I had gotten, I think, half a dozen of these at a local flea market. I paid $1 a piece. They were new in the package, some light wear here and there, but these, I actually sent these local to New Jersey. I took a best offer of $20 for 2 of these. The buyer did pay shipping. All the items you're going to see, I should say the majority of them are with shipping added. I did do a few free shipping items, which I'll tell you as I go, and you'll see it down here. It is accurate. So, next up, these 2 Star World action figure cases. These are vintage. They're from the 70s. These are a kind of hilarious, obvious knockoff on Star Wars, trying to capitalize on the Star Wars craze of the 70s. They actually had figures. If you even look here, it looks exactly like the knockoffs of Star Wars, but these are still collectible. They do hold the small Star Wars figures. These cases are a little bit cheaper plastic. I got both of these, and I actually had some vintage Star Wars figures at an auction for $1. I took a best offer on these 2 cases of $15. I had them in my store for a few months. I wanted to move them on. They're a little bit bulky in the bins and a little bit delicate, so I wanted to move these along, and again, for what I paid, happy to see those go. Very hot here in the East Coast the last couple weeks, and in the last video I sold a massive water cannon Super Soaker as well as some others. This one sold as well. I took a best offer, let's see on this. Oh, actually no, full price, so $16. You see here it did have free shipping. This I think went pretty close, so I think it actually went full first class. Says it was pretty light, and I found a box to send that out in. I had gotten this, I think, at a yard sale for about $1. This power mat, it's one of those where it's wireless charge for your iPhone. I had picked this up at a wholesale auction that I like to hit every once in a while. I paid $8 for this. It is new, and if I go back, I'll pick up more because I took a best offer of $24.99 on this, and I think it fit in a little bubble mailer. Went out, as you see, it went out first class. Jeep items sell pretty well for me. This is the second bag that I've found and been able to sell. This Jeep bag I got at a flea market. I had it thrown in on a deal where I bought a backpack, and this was just kind of sitting there. It was in great shape, had very little, if any, wear on it. And on the Jeep, I took a best offer of $20 on this, and it fit in 2 of the Tyvek Priority Mail kind of Franken bagged, if you will, together side to side, because this was a little bit larger. but I usually wrap it in bubble wrap and then put it in the Tyvek, and it goes priority mail. I think, like I said, I probably had less than $5 in this item. This mitt, it's a nice Wilson. It is a Kirby Puckett, the late great Kirby Puckett model. This glove I put on because I had sold it to somebody else. They said it didn't fit, and they sent it back on a return. I had to go back and forth with them because technically, if it doesn't fit, they said it was defective, and then they didn't want to pay shipping, but then I was able to get them to pay the shipping. They sent it back, and I sold it again. I took a best offer of $13.50 on this, and so far so good. Hopefully it found a permanent home. I got this, I think I got this at a yard sale for probably $1. These were a cheap quick send. I think these went out for, yeah, it was like in a little bubble mailer. I think it probably was like 1 or 2 ounce package. These were sold for full price, $10. They were really sample pack, small, one treatment lip renewal cream. I had gotten these in a big box lot of cosmetics, some of which lots I showed in the previous sales update video. And so this was just another lot from that. So when you get stuff in bulk, lot it up, and you'd be surprised sometimes what you can get. And this was easy to just throw in and ship off. I've sold a bit of these scope mounts. There's a lot of hunting out here where I live, and people need these mounts to put their scope on their gun. These were new in package. I was able to find, they're not that easy to shoot, but I was able to find this online, maybe even from Amazon, image that showed them in beautiful detail. So I don't like to do that, but in this case it worked. The scope mounts, I took a best offer of $12.99 on these, and the buyer did pay first class shipping. They went in a little box. I think I got these in a box lot at an auction, and I probably paid less than $5 for the entire lot, and I've sold a few other hunting items out of that. This bulldozer I got at a flea market. I paid $4 for it. It's really great. It's Tonka. It's motorized. It makes sounds. The front goes up and down. It does have some lights. It doesn't actually move with the tracks on the bottom. It's a little deceiving, but I had this in my store for a bunch of months, and it's just a little bit bulky. It was taking up space, so I let it go. I took a best offer of $13.50 on this, and the buyer did pay for priority shipping. This mitt, I had gotten it at auction. I believe I think I paid under $10. I remember it being, it is a vintage mitt. This has been sitting by my television down in the basement, kind of man cave, for a while. I took a best offer of $40 on this. It went out in a flat rate priority envelope. I wrapped it pretty good. And the buyer actually, it was very sweet. They did reach out to me with a sweet note about getting this, and was happy to pass that on to them. Yard Guard. I sold 2 of these. I get these regularly at a wholesale auction. I believe I paid less than $5 a piece for these. These were purchased by somebody locally. They picked these up in person. I did have a bit of a dilemma because they did pay, and then I had charged them no shipping, but the listing still had it as priority mail. And even though they picked them up, technically there's no way to do a local pickup when you've already set up the auction, or the listing rather, for to be shipped. I didn't put it as an option. So on this item, we exchanged positive feedbacks immediately, which helps, but I actually did send him a receipt in the mail, first class, which had a tracking number. So that actually satiated all the needs. I did pay a little bit more to do that, but it was worth it. He was very happy with them when he got them. And he did pay full price, so it was a payment of $54 for 2 of these. These CD players I had had in my store for a while. I'd actually had these out at a flea market. Nobody bought them. They work. They come with these headphones, and I took a best offer on these at $10. Just wanted to get them out. I kind of have the ideally I want to sell everything, so sometimes I will actually take something in the $10 range just to throw it, not throw it, but pack it into a box and get it out of here rather than donating it or trying to sell it at a yard sale. In these, I probably paid $1 a piece, probably last year. Everything's Pokemon right now with the sensation of the Pokemon Go app that everybody's been doing and the craziness. I had these in my store. These are vintage. This is a vintage Pokemon Nintendo Power Magazine for the gold and silver version games. I'm not too familiar with those, but everything's Pokemon right now. And I don't usually like to do it, but I added the word go here to my my listing rather, and it sold within a day or two. And on the Pokemon, somebody paid full price. I'd had this out there for so long, and I just did free shipping, so I ate a couple dollars. I had gotten these in a box lot of toys. These were kind of put to the side, and I had them for a while. I was about to actually put these out for the yard sale and give up on it, but the Pokemon craze started, and there they go. So I probably got around, after the shipping, I probably got around $12 for these. Travel Bar. This is about the second or third, I think maybe even more of these that I've sold. I find these in auctions pretty often. This one was in fantastic shape. It is a 2-piece bar that is, back in the day, or now even, people will, you want to have your martinis to go, or shaken, not stirred, what have you, play cards, do shots. It's just a beautiful set. You put your 2 bottles right in there, and then you have everything to go, and it's its own little briefcase. In the previous video, I had talked about Bakelite. Here it is again. This bottle opener right here, right there. It's hard to see. The bottle opener is made of Bakelite. The handle on this is made of Bakelite, and it's just a beautiful set. I got full price for this. I had it up for a couple weeks, and off it went. It was a little bit of a tough size. I had to actually make a box to ship this out, priority mail, and tape it up. So I wanted to make sure it got there okay, and it did. So full price. I got this at auction. I think I paid $12 is ringing in my head. I'm pretty sure I paid around that for this. So happy with the profit there. Harry Potter, the new book recently came out. The new book from them, and last week I had this in my store, for a few months. I'd gotten these figures in a large action figure auction lot, and this is one of the stragglers that I'd had for a while. Harry's eyeglasses are busted, but he does have his wand. This guy was in pretty good shape. He has his wand, and I had gotten some really low ball offers on this, and I had reduced it. I was actually going to put them again out for a yard sale, but somebody contacted me and wanted these. What did I do here? Harry Potter. Yeah, I took $13.50 flat, including shipping. So I think there was about $3 first class shipping to send these out. I put them in a box and then in a poly mailer, And so in the end, I probably ended up making like $10, but glad to move those on. These are Converse-esque. I learned the hard way. You can't put like Converse in a auction or in any listing. These are Conamore, which is kind of hilarious, and they go up, mid calf. They're like boots, and I had actually sold these 2 times to other buyers who flaked out, and I was actually going to give up on them. But on the Conamore, I kept relisting, and I got a best offer of $15 on these. I got these for $1 at a yard sale in the spring, with a whole bag. The lady was doing fill a bag or any pair of shoes for $1. And I think I got a garbage bag full of probably 10 pairs of shoes, and this was one of them. So for $15, and off they went, hopefully to a permanent home. This Sony Walkman I got at an auction in a box lot of electronics. I bought the box lot because I did see this item kind of in the bottom. It's the Sony Walkmans are pretty desirable. This one in particular because it has it's more metallic. It's not the plastic. It's a metal kind of case on it. And it had this, you can get a rechargeable battery to actually put in the bottom here, which is a pretty cool feature. I didn't have the battery. You tested it with a regular battery, and it did work. I took a best offer, let's see, on the Sony, not full price. Somebody paid $60 for this plus shipping. And I get these. I do test them rigorously. If they record, you got to make sure. This one didn't. I do have some tapes that I make sure they play okay, listen okay. You have to test all the functions and stuff. But some of these Walkmans from back in the day can go for good money. And this one, I think for the bin, I was actually interested in the bin. And then whatever is inside it is gravy. I think I paid less than $5 for the whole bin. And there was some other electronics in there as well. Oh, and on this one too, I think I had a flat. I might have had a flat shipping, and I did upgrade to priority mail. Again, for somebody buys something for that amount with priority mail, you do get some insurance up to $100. So I do try to take advantage of that, even if it means I pay a little bit more to get it out via priority. In the event there's an issue, you're covered. These were bought. They are the shoe supports, shoe stretchers. They are kind of spring, and then you can kind of fit them into a variety of shoes. They're by Pedor. They're all metal, and I got these. I think I got that same auction in a box lot, again in a bin. So I was interested in the bin. These sold within a day, and on those I took a best offer of $23 on these, and they all fit in a flat rate legal priority mail mailer. I was able to kind of bunch them, strap them all together, and they all fit nicely in there for the flat rate shipping. I was so happy somebody bought this because I believe I had this when I was a kid. This is the Fisher-Price Clubhouse, Sesame Street. It was very dirty when I got it. I got this at a small local auction, and I paid $2 for it. But I had to go in and really kind of clean it up, and in the end, it was in great shape. These figures were not with it. The only one that was this original Big Bird right here. These other ones I had gotten in various box slots, and I knew they were Muppet or Sesame Street, so I threw them in, and maybe that helped out with somebody buying it, maybe not. But all the function on this amazing little toy worked. This little thing turned, and then this little conveyor belt goes down and comes out the slide. It's a very cool little vintage Fisher-Price toy. And on this, I think I got full price. Yeah, the $35. And I believe this fit into. No, I had saved a box for this because it didn't fit into the largest priority box. So just kind of put this in and put a lot of packing in. But the great thing about the Fisher-Price stuff is it's pretty much like bolted together plastic. As long as you get it in there and could just put some packing around it so it doesn't move, it makes it. It's even though it's plastic, the stuff was built to last. It's great stuff. Oh yeah, I said I paid $2 for that. This Dyson, I got this at a yard sale. I paid $4 for it. It was new, unopened, and packaged. It's the smaller Dyson turbine vac, and this just easy, really easy. A couple quick pictures. The package had a crack on it there. It definitely looked like the person didn't actually open it or take it out of the package and put it back in. It definitely looked like it was unopened, even though there was some damage there to the package. I took a best offer $25 on this. I did free shipping because I was trying to compete with Amazon and some other eBay sellers who just offer the free shipping. So I think I ate probably $6 or $7 on this with doing the free shipping. So out of my 25, so really $18 when you factor in the shipping and so forth. But I paid $4. It was sitting on a shelf actually in my garage. I had forgotten about it, so threw it up there and I sold it within about 2 or 3 days. This Nerf Titan gun, I had gotten this last season in the fall. It's a missile launcher. It's just the gun. There's no missile. There would have been a missile goes over this orange part and you pump it up. It has a cool kind of air gauge there where you pump it up and launch that off. On the Nerf, I took a best offer, $20.69. Probably they did that because for the shipping. This was a pain to ship. If I found this again, I'd want to either get it complete or I would probably, if I could get it really cheap. I know last year, I think I might have gotten this at the Goodwill. I probably paid maybe $2 for it. So for $20, but to find a box, I had to actually find a box and then make a top because I was just able to fit it diagonally into a custom box. So it goes to show sometimes you find something, you're like, oh, that's a good deal. And then it sells and I went, oh man, and I had to find a box to make that work, but I did. This brush was one of 2 MAC brushes that I found again in that cosmetics bin of stuff that I've shown. The previous lip treatments were part of that. And then this MAC brush, this is a retired, I don't believe they make this anymore. This is a bronzer brush. And with these, you see here, it is used, but as long as you put with stuff like these, like brushes and stuff that have touched the skin, you do need to put that you cleaned it. That is part of the specifics of listing stuff in the cosmetics categories. So again, probably had maybe $1 into this item. And on the brush, took a best offer of $19.69, and it shipped in a little first-class poly mailer. Oh, this wallet. This is a really, I haven't seen many of these on eBay. Very cool Harley Davidson leather wallet, kind of like a passport wallet. It did have a few very, very light ding here or there into the leather, but the cool thing about it was that it looked like some dealer either used this, had this, because it had this really cool road guide atlas with all the Harley Davidson dealers across the U.S. I was actually considering keeping this to use for my passport, but it sold. Eventually it did sell. I took the best offer of $22.50 on this. and it went out first class in a mailer. I got this at a flea market last fall with a bunch of other items. I remember paying a $20 bill for this and my Coors Light and a couple, I think a couple Ralph Lauren ties and a couple off of one stand. So probably had, I'm going to say, around $5 invested into this item. These Air Prestige, these I got along with those calf length Conamore sneakers. These were $1, and that buy any pair of shoes for $1. It was at a yard sale, and on the Nike took a best offer, $22.50 on these. With the shoes, a lot of times I'll put them up, and I really try to let them go. When I start to get into the $20-$25 range, shoes are great, but I noticed the ones that are hot, they sell right away. These I'd had for probably a couple months, so I'm pretty flexible on my pricing on that. I like to move them. 9 times out of 10, these go right in the priority mail shoebox. I bag each shoe up in another poly bag so they don't kind of rub together, and throw them in the priority mail shoe boxes, which they work great because they're shoes. These are great. I've sold a couple more lots of these. These are SD cards. I think I had them in the last video as well. These I took a best offer, $17. I do have free shipping on these. I had gotten these at a flea market off a guy. Yeah, I bought about 50 of these, so I lotted them up in lots of 5, and they seem to be doing pretty well. These are also part of my promoted listings campaign, and I only have 3 left. So in the beginning I had 10, so it's been going pretty well. I paid $15 for all 50 originally, and these they have free shipping. I send them out first class. I put them in. I actually kind of seal them flat into 2 pieces of cardboard. I tape it around the outside, and then I put that in a mailer, and then in another bubble mailer. So they're really kind of sealed in there, and they're usually $2.60 first class. They probably usually weigh around 2 to 3 ounces when it's said and done. They're little, they're light. Live Strong. I see people all the time still wearing these, the cancer bracelets. Nike, they were previously Lance Armstrong, but Nike, it's still going. I think these were from back in the day. I got several lots of these. I have a couple more lots. These, the Live Strong, I took $16 on a lot of the adult, and then these I do charge of shipping, so these went out first class. I think I had about 10 to 12 lots of these, and I paid around $5 for all the lots. So doing well, selling these slowly. I hope I can blow these out within another month or 2. I had bought a whole big lot of Kenner Mask toys at a specific toy auction about two winters ago, and had listed a bunch of these over the last couple months, and then some of them didn't move, so I tried some auctions. I had gotten a coupon through eBay for some free auction listings, and I listed this. I really would have liked to have gotten more for it, but again, it's one of the larger, bulkier of the toys, and I have another one. I actually think I have 2 more of these, so $10 off it went. And again, I probably broke even on it, to be honest, because the lot I bought was a little expensive, but I do have probably another 15 to 20 toys to list from that lot. So it's just one of those things where you gotta move it on. And it was easy I fit this in a legal flat rate mailer. It went diagonally perfect with bubble wrap, and it got there okay. So Next. I had gotten these pins. Originally, I thought maybe for the 4th of July, I could have, lotted them up into other lots. I never got around to it. The 4th of July came and went, and I just decided to put them up as one big lot. There were 67 individually wrapped little lapel pins. They're the flag there, and again on the pins, full price, $20. They went in a little bubble mailer. I paid $1 for these at an auction last month, and so good profit, easy to ship. I had gotten a box lot at a auction a couple months back, and it was full of toys, but I went through it and there was very little of value per toy that I kind of could list, but there were a whole bunch of these vintage My Little Pony. They're not in the best shape. They have some marks here and there, and I did notice, and somebody did email me that when if you actually get into any of this My Little Pony stuff, sometimes these actually, I took these pictures out in the sun. And what was kind of interesting is under my usual photo canopy booth, a lot of these marks weren't able to be seen. So just goes to show, I'm always learning about stuff. And I was definitely glad because you could have a return, a negative feedback on your hands. You really don't want to kind of deceive your buyer. And from people I know that collect toys, and probably the people that collect these My Little Pony, which is a very specific group of people that really love this stuff, they might have noticed that had I put it at a higher price and wanted more for it. So for $10, again, this was in one of the auctions I did for a free insertion fee, etc. And off it went. I'll probably list maybe a few more. I had gotten out of that box of toys probably, I think, like 4 or 5 of these in these vintage. They're probably 1980, late 1980s My Little Pony. This lot of games made me breathe a sigh of relief, because in the previous video I had shown the Game Boy Advance that I bought with these games, and the buyer I had gotten, he had a lot of lowball offers, and originally I had these games with it, and the buyer, the highest offer I got, I had said, you know what, I do you want the box and the manuals, or do you want the games, but not both? And they didn't take these games, so they ended up taking the box and the manuals, and I was happy to sell it for that. But I then listed these separately, and I took a best offer of $25 on these. There was free shipping involved, but it went out in just a little poly mailer, bubble mailer. So I sold the Game Boy Advance. I think I got there's $70 or $80 for that, and then another $25 for these, and they sold within a couple days. And there's the cool thing with these, came with the manuals. You have a couple, you have Spyro, you have Metroid, you have a couple decent. When I sell lots, I never really cherry pick. I just put them all up. So off they went. Now, and originally I'd given the lady $8 for the Game Boy and all the games. So very happy with the profit there. This Block and Tackle, I got this at an auction. I paid $2 for it. When I got it, it was in a small box, and it was just dusty, doesn't begin to say the word. Rusty doesn't begin to say the word. I did go in and I took a rag. It took me a little bit of time, but I went in and I didn't scrub it. I just kind of wiped it all down. And you see there's some pitting, there's some rust here. The rope was kind of unfurling in one area, but a lot of people buy this stuff for display. They actually just enjoy it. Maybe it's a nautical theme, or a lot of people are into this kind of hemp type rope. It's this old school kind of fishing nautical vibe. I had this up for a couple months, no takers. I took a best offer of $15 for this, and it shipped in a flat rate bubble priority mailer. And like I said, I paid like $2. So happy to move it along. This manual it's for an HP32S scientific calculator. I actually got the calculator and this manual out of the garbage. I think I had it in my previous video, and I got a nice handsome offer and sold it, but the buyer actually returned it, and this goes to show with any item, just because you turn it on and you press a couple buttons, it may not be completely functional. The buyer actually got this, and they did some of the setup, and there was an error that came up when you do it. And I repeated what he did, and it came up for me too. So I paid for him to return it, and I was hoping to get a little bit more. I actually don't have the time to go and figure out maybe what was wrong with the calculator, so I just sold the manual, and I took a best offer, $25 on this, just the manual, and with the free shipping, but it went out, I believe it still went out first class, and I got it for nothing. I pulled it out of the garbage, so I still made a little bit of profit, and somebody that has a working, fully functional calculator, I'm sure would love to pair this, because that calculator with the manual can go for over $100 easy. Okay, Wolfgang Puck. Had this in my store for a long time. I got this for $1 at an auction, gosh, probably last year. I think I got it pre-holiday, thinking I would sell it, never sold. Just been sitting around, and eventually I did get the $11.99 for this. Again, when I buy stuff for $1 and it's new in box, I do try to hold on to it, because I generally feel like, wow, somebody should really use this, because it's a nice piece. So yeah, $12. This is like more of a bread and butter item. I see this stuff all the time. Similar to the calculator, on the same day I found this in the trash for nothing. This is just it's a cool. I probably wouldn't have grabbed it, but the box was so cool that it came in. It's just a vintage fish scaler, $10. Went out in a little bubble mailer. Really loving the free eBay supplies. They're helping me out with some free stuff to use to ship. So again, no investment, free find at the flea market in the trash, $10. This one, the La Machine, this is the second or third part from one. I parted it out because I didn't sell it all together. This one got the full $12. This is just a bowl, which is kind of cool if you actually have this food processor and you're doing, say, you're making your own cat food or something like that, or whatever, potato salad, you want double the amount, you could just pop in an extra bowl. So for $12, I believe I paid $5.97 at the Goodwill for the La Machine last year. I tried to sell it, and to date I sold the plunger, this, and the blade. So now I still have the motor that's still listed. So Becky, my other half, had actually gotten a vase. These flower vases that are very collectible, very popular, and she had bought one at a flea market that was just like this. So I got this one thinking that she would like it. We both kind of agreed that it just really wasn't for us. We wanted to kind of not keep it. So I threw it up there. This was actually sold via the Global Shipping Program. This took a best offer for $12.75, and it will make its way to Italy. And I packed it very well, and I had a flat rate shipping here, but I did up it to priority mail, so I could use a priority box knowing that it's going to go to Italy, and hoping for the best for that. I usually don't like to offer that on delicate items that are lower priced, but I wanted to move this on, and I hope for the best on that one. These Dark Knight, these are 2 vehicles, very cool. They're a little bit more basic RC, but they both are controlled by this single little remote here, and they're just cool. I got these at a yard sale with a whole bunch of other things. I believe I paid $5 for these. I had them up for a little while, and the Dark Knight, let's see, I took a best offer at $18 on these. So, you know, a decent profit, and I have so much. If you look behind me clearly, I have a lot of toys, and I have a lot better, you know, Dark Knight toys than these, but these are great for a kid who loves the Dark Knight and, you know, wants to play. Bread and butter item, got this for probably 50 cents at a yard sale. Some of these, I had sold one that was Tivana, and I'd gotten like $20-some for it. This one just sat in the store for a while. I was going to throw it out for the yard sale, but it sold. $10, off it went. Sphere Bradley bag, got this at a flea market. I paid $1. I originally was going to pass on it, but the lady, I bought a couple other shirts from the guy and 1 or 2 other items, and she said you could have it for $1. And so I took it for $1, and I sold it for, took a best offer on this at $20.69, and it shipped in a box of a priority mail, one of the like shirt boxes. I really tried to get into a flat rate mailer, but with stuff like this, I don't like to fold it too much. I don't want the buyer to get it and kind of go, ugh. So this fit nicely into a box, and I may have paid a little bit. I think I might have paid $7 shipping, but it's worth it knowing that the person's going to get it and open it, and it looks exactly like the pictures. You don't want to kind of have that bait and switch vibe. Not good. Nintendo DS, this I got at an auction in a box lot. I was actually after some other items, and this was a friendly surprise. This was just kind of floating in the bottom. And this lot was pieced together. I actually got the DS. It was just bare. And then I ended up finding in another box lot these 2 cases, and I got these 2 games for $1 at a yard sale, and then I ended up going on eBay and picking up a charger for it, and it all together, it all worked great. It all sold as one lot. I took a best offer of $50, and it's good to go. And this one I did free shipping, and I put this in I believe a flat rate. Yeah, I put it in a priority mail flat rate. Again, wanting to have, in the event something happens to it, I'm covered with some insurance. Well, that's it, guys. That's the last item. Please give a comment below if you like. Give a thumbs up, hopefully. I hope you like what you saw. I appreciate you watching. Come visit me on YouTube, Horizon Picks. Visit my eBay store and sign up for my stuff. Thanks for watching.